Hi, this is Icycle and I'm showing you Icycle on Thin Ice. I really love this game. I'll explain why a bit later. First, I'll just talk about Steam and discoverability of games, because I was very busy during September and October, which meant that I couldn't follow the new releases on Steam, and I might have missed stuff. So in November I decided, okay, I have to check what was released during that time, because can you imagine if there was something really good and no one ever hears about it? Because the problem is that there are so many games being released on Steam every day, like I don't know, 30 to 50, which means that there are hundreds within a few days, and reviewers like me even have trouble following. There are just so many of them, you cannot test and review everything. But still at least I wanted to go through the hundreds that have been released, and I could barely spend a few seconds for each. You know, it's like years of work judged within a few seconds. Well, not everything is good. There is like Achievement Hunter Deluxe, Fidget Spinner Scam No Animation Edition, Asset Flipper 4576, RPG Maker Barfest but with cleavage, or Kevin's first zombie shooter. Well, lots of nasty things. And so that's why the good games are ignored, because people are not crazy enough to go through the whole list and play everything. There is just so much. But I saw this one and I was like, it looks good. As you're probably looking at the art style, it is really gorgeous. And what's more is, you probably have noticed during the previous level, the levels can move and shift around you. This is just amazing. So, you see it's a platformer. It's on mostly on a bicycle. You can have like sometimes a cart or a few different things, but it's on wheels. So it's different than your usual platformer. So the controls are a bit more like floaty, but not floaty in a bad way. You have really good air control, and you slide a bit because it's on ice. The whole world is frozen, you're the last man, and actually at the start of the game he's completely naked, and you gradually get more clothes for the poor guy because he's shaking, the poor thing. And the sound is quite good when you hear him saying hello, and you have the echo from very far away. You really feel alone in a very bleak and desperate world. So the atmosphere is pretty good. Actually, one guy did the art and the coding, so basically most of the game, and then he received help for like the sound, the voice, music, and so on. As you can see, Magritte inspiration here for this surrealistic game. It's pretty cool. Come on, get in the ear. And some weird fish inverted siren. Yeah, the game is pretty crazy. I guess since he's the last man on Earth, he would fantasize about just anything, even this fish. I really like that these levels were fused into like some sort of little background story. I wish they had done more of this, because it's actually just like some little things here and there, but not that much of a story for most of the levels, which is a shame because it's really nice, but it's just not a big complaint. Okay, you can see here this level has the moving parts, and I really like when this happens in games, because you constantly get surprised at the levels. You don't know what to expect, and when you die it's not a big deal, because as you have seen when I died much earlier, you just restart on the same screen. So there are many checkpoints. There are really no problems. It's not unfair, unlike like the previous Flash game that this was based on. This was very difficult, and people really complain about like that you had to redo long sequences when you died. Well, here no problem at all. You can get through the whole game even if you're not that skilled. Just a few moments will be a bit more difficult, but it's rather alright. So the game can be completed in 2 hours, which is rather short, but the game is cheap, so it's okay. And also there is a lot more to unlock, and like these challenges to complete, like finishing a level without dying, or finishing a level without touching more than 8 cubes, or finding a secret. There are lots of things to do even when you finish it once, and there are hidden levels to unlock. Look at this, this is brilliant. Just love this. So you kind of sometimes have to do a bit of trial and error, but it's never long sequences, so it's never a big deal. So talking about trial and error, this game is not like the game Trials, the one with like a motorbike or BMX, I'm not sure what it was. So the controls for this one, well, like the physics were a bit more real. Well, this one, it's not like a platformer where you are on foot, and it's not like Trial, it's not like a simulation, it's kind of in between, a sweet spot where it feels really good. And I say this, I'm a veteran of platformers, so I'm very glad that this feels fresh and good at the same time. I usually don't like games where when you slide a little bit, but this one is perfectly alright. So here you have some bonus levels that you can unlock if you get the right clothes of them. So the clothes you can find hidden in the levels, or you can buy them, and this is like the original game. So the control, yeah, that you can unlock. The controls, you cannot change them, it's just like the arrows and WASD, but you cannot change them if you have a foreign keyboard, which is a bit of a shame, but yeah, you can find ways to put it in English. So this is again another different sort of level. All the levels are different, which is amazing with this game, because it constantly feels fresh. I felt like a kid with little stars in my eyes, constantly being surprised at the marvels on the screen. You can see why I love this. It's just everything is always feels new and fresh, and the gameplay, as I said, it's not like an usual platformer. You don't have all the fancy things like double jumps and so on, but still, you know, it feels different. And just from the fact that it feels different and the levels are so brilliant. And you can see these things I collect. This is also an important part of games. Like for instance, it's the games like from the Black Forest games people, or something like the Diana Sisters, Twisted Dreams, or the latest Bubsy. So I just put the gems, all the colors on the screen, so it breaks the art style, because the colors I mean, just it doesn't suit with the rest of the game, and also it makes no sense. Well, here in this game, the things that you collect, they kind of inform you on the jumps you have to make, for instance, or they make some jumps a bit more difficult, so that you wouldn't like just go along with the level on a straight line. You have to do a little like deviation that will take a risk. So it's very interesting, it's very well placed. I like the level design. You can see the bombs here. It looks very simple when I'm doing it, but actually the first time it was a bit hard. I kept blowing myself up. So you can see here, I'm gonna pick up these ice cubes, and then I go back, and look, new ice cubes appeared on top to show me that I had to jump there. This is brilliant, this is good design, very well followed, and a few games do this, but most not. They just have the coins just lying everywhere with no point. Here it has a meaning. And so it's a bit like the looms in Rayman. Rayman is brilliant. And also the umbrellas that you can use to kind of hover in midair is a bit like also the helicopter hair of Rayman. You also have some of these moments where you can use air currents like to go higher, like an helicopter or something. So it feels a bit Rayman in a way. And I mean this in a very good way. I like Rayman. You can see here another kind of different level. You don't have to navigate through it, you have to avoid obstacles. So this is one of the only one that involves a little bit of learning of where you have to go to position yourself. But it's short, so if you try again, it's not a long sequence. Yeah, I keep praising this game. So what is less good, let's say? Well, first, like the environmental storytelling that I talked about earlier, like the fish lady and this kind of dream sequence. Well, I would have loved to see more of this, but I mean, I'm probably asking a lot because that's difficult to do, but it's brilliant. So I would have liked to see more, but it's not like a flow of the game or something. But some of the levels, like in the middle, are a bit less interesting, like less fancy. Not the levels are not morphing all the way. Okay, so see here, I'm trying to get these ice cubes, and then new ones pop behind me. So I have to go back and take more risk just to get them. So this was very clever to do this, like force me to, not force me, but suggest me to go back and take more risk. And you're gonna see here another section that feels completely different from the rest of the game. So I had an amazing time playing this. So I clearly recommend it. Look at this. I have to time it perfectly well. Yes! That was close. Ooh. And something completely new entirely again. Now the level is moving under my feet and I have to avoid falling in the spikes and the traps. Yeah, so I just had an amazing time with this, and it's cheap, so you really should get it if you're into platformers. I hope you enjoyed this video. Bye bye!